How's it going, guys? It's Jordan Rose, and today we'll be discussing one of my favorite topics about JDMs. So if you're unfamiliar with this website, basically it's the go-to in terms of like buying an import car or just browsing, which is mainly what I do because obviously I don't have import money. But there's a ton of cars here. I think they have around 2,000, almost 3,000 listings currently. That always changes depending on the day and all that stuff. Usually they have a new listing up daily, at least from what I know. But there's also some private owners or like individual owners who will also put their cars up for sale as well. And yeah, this is basically the go-to in terms of buying a import car. But enough so with the website. I love this website. It's a great website. I always enjoy looking on here and seeing new listings every now and then. But this is probably my dream import car, or at least one of the two that I will be discussing, mainly because if you are familiar with the show Initial D, that's basically the show that also helps me get into JDMs in general, as well as Import Alliance, which is actually going to be in Bowling Green this weekend. So I'm going to get some footage of that and hopefully get a video posted up on that whole experience. But that, and then as well as Initial D, just kind of brought me into the urge of wanting an import car, and it really just brought me more into cars in general. That happened about 2 years ago around this time, and in fact I think it'll be October 24th was when I went to the first Import Alliance that I attended. But they've been doing that for, I would say, 17 years now. I think they started around 05, 06, so it's been going on for a while, but it's very fun. It's a great show overall. Great people. There's great events. They have drifting. This time I believe they'll have a limbo contest, so that'll be fun to look at. But yeah, it's definitely a great experience and something I would recommend. So the Mazda RX-7 is definitely one of the top, I guess, 4 of the big Japanese manufacturers. So you got Nissan, Toyota, Mazda, and Honda, and they all have their predecessors: the Skyline GTR R34, the Toyota Supra, the Honda NSX, and then you got the RX-7, kind of all the big 4, at least for me. That's how I see them. I actually own a sweatshirt that has all 4 of those cars, and it has Japanese finest and fancy lettering, I guess you could say. So I guess we'll go ahead and look at this Type R. Actually looks pretty cool. It's a 1.3 rotor twin turbo. It's manual. It's got a body kit. It says it's got an aftermarket exhaust and intake, Yokohama AVS VS5 wheels, aftermarket JDM radio, so that's pretty cool. Door doesn't look too bad. Can't tell if it's dirt or debris or something there, I guess. Seats look good. Good condition. That shifter is iffy. I'm not too big of a fan of that shifter knob. The rear looks good. It's got the RX-7 in red lettering. It's got the, I believe that's the OEM wing. I love those wings, especially this color too. This color looks really good on this car. So here's kind of a little side profile. So there's the AVS wheels and the exhaust, which both look pretty clean. The fender looks pretty good too. It looks like it's a little bit of a tuck, but not too much. Although I could be wrong, it might be flush. Maybe we can get a different angle, or I guess a better angle of the side profile, which doesn't look like there is. But interior looks good. I love the interior on these cars. Looks like it might, can't tell if that's carbon fiber. It doesn't look like it. It might be just a sticker or something. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the interior, at least with the gauges. I'm pretty sure all of this top half is OEM. Did say there was a JDM radio, so obviously that's aftermarket. Shifter is definitely not OEM, and I believe all this though is all OEM as well. I think the steering wheel looks OEM, but for me, honestly, I would put a quick release on it. I think that would look pretty good. Maybe a Momo steering wheel, one of those basic ones. There's another picture. There's the boost gauge. So yeah, there's the interior. Okay, that's a clean picture. It looks like a air vent. The hood looks pretty good. Overall, this entire picture looks good. I like the background too. So here's the engine bay. So you got your strut bar, the engine itself, the 1.3 rotor twin turbo. This looks like it's an HKS intake, but I could be wrong. I believe those are more spongy. This one might be a different company. I have to look that up later. The wiring doesn't looks a little messy. I don't know if this is how usually these cars look in general. I know these are my favorite cars. I don't really get to look at them a whole lot though. But yeah, overall a very clean car. Looks like it has, what is that? I can't tell if there's another digit, but it looks like it has 59,470 kilometers. Maybe there's another, I can't tell if there's another zero. There's a glare there. And I don't think he says it either. Oh, I could be wrong. Okay, yeah, 59, 470, or 36,000. Wow, 36,000 miles for an RX-7. That's actually not too bad. It's going for almost 47,000. So I would say it's a fair price for a car with this much mileage. You're getting a lot for it. It's a Type R 92, but I think overall it's definitely a clean choice. Definitely a good price overall. So next up, we'll be looking at the Mitsubishi Lancer Evos. So these are my, I guess, other favorite cars, or one of the top two for me. So as you saw before, the Mazda RX-7, that would probably be my more realistic, like, #1 choice, but this is a close second place. The Evo 3, which is my favorite, I guess, year. I think they produced them from 95 to 96, and there's specific months too, I think, if I recall correctly. But this one's a 95. What sucks about these Evo 3s is that they're the most expensive, I think, of all of the Evos, at least in terms of if you compare them on this site. So if I go back and look at all of them, I wish it would stop showing that. But if you go, let's see, I'll go ahead and get rid of the years. Let's sort by price ascending. So that's another cool feature too. There's a bunch of filters you can add on this side, and then as well as you can sort them. But oh wow, there's a Mitsubishi wagon. Yeah, this is the 9th gen, I believe, and I think they made these in the States as well. That looks pretty cool. I don't remember the front end being like that though in the States. I think it was a little different. I'll have to look that up later. But yeah, if you see here, the Mitsubishi Evo 3, so this one's running for 56,000. This one's been on here for quite a while. I remember seeing this at least a year ago, if I recall correctly. But it's got a lot done to it, as you can see this list. I'm not going to go through everything, but oh wow, never mind. It's only been up for earlier this year. I thought it's been up a lot longer than that. Maybe they reposted it, but yeah, as you see there, that's probably one of the most expensive Evos on here. Yeah, so here's two more Evo 3s that are running for about 46 and 45, a little bit over. And then there's the other Evos. There's a Evo 6 right here. This is another Evo 6, Evo 9, 8. This looks like it's... I can't tell the difference between the 7, 8, or 9. You know, I barely changed any of them, but the Evo 3 is definitely one of the more higher spectrum cars in terms of rarity and everything, which is why you barely see them, or at least for me, that's why I barely see them on this site. Mainly see the Evo 4s more. The Evo 4s, I think they like made a bunch more of those, and those are like the first, I guess, gen of the second set. That makes sense. So Mitsubishi made the 1, 2, and 3, basically the same car with minor upgrades. Same with the 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the 10 was just its own car, and then unfortunately they quit producing them. But let's look at this Evo 3. I like this color a lot better anyways. So it's mostly stock, it's clean and well maintained. It comes with the books of maintenance records and negotiate the best price. So it doesn't have too much information. This is the only picture, unfortunately. This, I believe this dealership also has other cars. Yeah, like right here you can see this $350,000 R34 GTR. There's a bunch of other cars too that they have. So now I guess we can go ahead and go look at the other cars. So let's go ahead and look at this R34. I'm kind of curious. So I've already looked at this car a little bit before. So it doesn't actually say the year. Oh, okay, never mind. Here we go. Wow. So yeah, it's got a bunch of Nismo stuff. Some N1 pistons, piston rings, connector rod bearing. Yeah, this car is loaded, but it doesn't say how much kilometers it has. I believe this, you know what, this tune might be a very, very rare tune. I'm actually curious now. So this is kind of crazy. So I think this car, this S1 tuned R34 GTR, might be one of only like 15. And if it is, then yeah, that's your asking price. So that's honestly, I think if that would be a lot more. Like if it were me, I think that would be easily a $500,000 car, because only 13, according to this website. This is GTR-registry.com and has all of these cars listed on here. But as you can see, it has different colors. But I don't see a black one. But there's two right here that are unknown, so I don't know. And they're Nismo, so I don't know. This could be where this one lays, is either the 1 or 2, or 2 or 3. And if so, that's actually pretty crazy that I'm actually looking at it and it's for sale. But it'd be even cooler if I ever got the chance to see it in person. But let's look at this Prelude. good. So this Prelude, this is a different front end from any that I've seen, which makes sense because obviously in Japan they made things differently than they did in the States. Either if it was just minor tweaks or, you know, full on different front ends and all that. But this looks like it's a 4th gen Prelude. It doesn't say the year. Oh wow, it's already sold. And why is it still listed? Fortunately, this is the only picture it gives, but it does look pretty clean. So here we have a Nissan Silvia SCP-311. I'm not too familiar with older Nissans or in general these older cars. This one was made in 65, so this one's very old. This is you're looking at a, what is that, a 67? Yeah, a 67-year-old car. I think I did that right. 57. Yeah, 57. First generation of Nissan Silvia. That's crazy. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, obviously there's only one picture, but still it looks clean. Back in, I forget when they quit doing the mirrors up on the middle of the hood. I think it was around the late 70s that they quit doing that, or at least in Japan. I know in the States, I don't think they ever did that. That was only a Japan thing that they did for a while, and I don't know how it benefited versus the mirrors being in the side of the door or the A-pillar. But yeah, this is a clean car overall. I like it. So here's a R30. You don't really see any of these much. This is made in 83, so it's not a GTR. They only made the GTRs in this mid 70s, early 70s, and then they quit for a while, and then they brought them back in 89 with the R32, and then they kept making them up to, I think last year was when they stopped making the R35. But GTR name's been around. This one unfortunately doesn't have it, but it does have the Skyline name under it. This, you know, honestly, I actually kind of dig this look. I'm not too familiar with these cars either. I don't know. It has GTR R32 seats. It looks like it's got a bunch of stuff. It says and more. It's got the transmission, air filters, alloy wheels. It's got a Skyline RS Turbo DR30 iron mask. Clean and well maintained, no mechanical issues. And then here's, you know, I just read off the aftermarket upgrades that it has. But yeah, it looks like a clean car. Another one that only has one picture, unfortunately, but I'm sure the owner will be happy. 40 grand, which isn't too bad. Wow, that mileage is kind of high though. But considering it's from 83, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, it's a 40-year-old car, and I mean, crap, my car's got more than that. It's only 10 years old, but it looks like it's kept up well from at least this picture. Obviously, we don't have an interior pic or underneath the chassis to see if there's any rust or any of that stuff, but it looks like a pretty cool car. It looked like it'd be fun to drive as well. But there you have the R30. So here are the Toyota Chasers, which are another one of my favorite cars. I would definitely put them, you know, honestly, I think I would put them in my top 5 of favorite JDM cars with the Evo and the RX7, which I don't have an exact list of all of my favorite JDMs. I love all of them, you know, there's not really any that I hate. Some of them might look goofy, you know, the Toyota Serra, you know, the doors going up kind of looks a little weird for an average car that I think only had under a 2.0 liter in it. But overall, you know, the right-hand drive, they look cool. I mean, their manufacturers have great names under their belt, especially reliability. Toyota, Nissan, Honda, all those brands. I mean, crap, even Mitsubishi, Subaru, and Mazda, they all have decent reputations for having good, reliable cars. But here we'll look at some chasers. I was looking at this one. This one would look like it'd be fun to have. It's only listed at 19 grand, and it comes in manual. Oh, well, it's an '01, so I'd have to wait another, let's see. So yeah, it's 2022, so I'd have to wait another 4 years. Well, I guess 3, considering 2022 is almost over, but considering the 25-year rule, this thing can't be imported until 2026, unfortunately. But it's a clean car. I liked you know, the wheels setup looked good on it. It looks like it's got a flush setup, a little bit of not too much of a wheel gap. It's closed off, which is nice. That engine bay is very clean. It's got the, I believe these came with the 1Js, but I don't know if this is what this one has. Doesn't look like it has the engine name in it. I'm not too familiar with looks. I believe that's a 1J. The engine bay is pretty clean though. I like the HKS filter. I always love these filters, you know, how they have that, you know, sponge look to them. You can always tell it's a HKS too, because obviously it's green. It's got that different, I guess, intake style, because usually intakes will have, you know, like the actual filters on it that'll have like little slots that'll come out of them or whatever that trap the particles and stuff from getting inside, which obviously is the point of intakes or air filters anyways. But this one, HKS took a different turn, and they have that kind of like that sponge effect going. But these actually, I'm pretty sure, do pretty good too in terms of performance. Obviously, HKS has a pretty good reputation on its own in terms of being reliable and actually being pretty good aftermarket manufacturer. I think it'd be cool to work for them someday if I could ever get up to that level. But clean engine bay, I like it a lot. Everything's well organized. There isn't too much cords that are just randomly put out. Everything's just straightforward. Obviously you got the engine in the middle, you got the intake going in here. I believe this is where the headers are, and I think that might be the actually, you know what? That might be the turbo right there. I don't know where that goes to though. Batteries, solid, not going anywhere. It doesn't have a strut bar, but I don't think it'd have room anyways. I don't know what this device is right here. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's very, very clean engine bay and car overall. That's a nice picture of the little muffler right there. This is actually something I would want to get for my car down the road, or maybe even recent, or whenever I get the money to actually get everything done for the bumper and all that. But I love these mufflers. I think they're cool, and obviously, especially if they can shoot flames, it just looks really cool and everything. But there's the intercooler, so that's what that was, is the intercooler right here, the tubing that went up there. And I don't know what intercooler that is. I don't know if it lists it. Let's see, don't think it says it. Oh, there it is. Intercooler the Defi. Interesting. Oh wait, never mind. Blitz introductory intercooler. So Blitz, I don't think I've ever heard of them. Clean interior. It's got the bucket seat on the driver's side, and I don't know if that's an OEM passenger seat, but whatever it is, it looks interesting with the design and everything. But shifter knob looks like it's aftermarket. E-brake as well. But yeah, overall clean interior. There's a close up on the HKS intake. That purple suspension on the top looks pretty cool as well. Oh, so it's a Recaro seat. Neat. Yeah. Recaro is another good brand. I love Recaro seats. I think all of them look clean. But yeah. So the last car we'll be looking on this list is the Toyota Altezza, aka the IS300 or Lexus IS300 in the States. This is the Japanese version of the car. It's right-hand drive, only Toyota name under it. I love these cars. Absolutely love these cars, especially these taillights. These taillights are probably one of the best taillights, I would say, honestly, ever in my opinion. I just love them. The little circle in the trunk, and then you got the ones on the outside, the clear and the red just go way too well together. I especially love this IS300. I like this little, I believe this is a body kit that goes all the way around it, that kind of sticks out. Looks really good. Those wheels look pretty good too. A little bit, I can't tell if that's the actual tire itself or it's the rim that's dirty, but overall looks really cool. I like the side profile. Interior's clean. Looks like it's got a little digital portion that I don't know exactly what that does, but it looks like that's probably the radio. And then up here, I can't tell if that might be like a backup camera. I don't know. Japan used to be really fancy with that type of stuff back in the day, especially when the Toyota Celsior was out. In the early 90s, they would have those backup cameras to help you out and everything, which we never got those in the States. The Lexus LS400 never got those, I don't recall. Passenger seats also clean. But yeah, overall, another clean car. I guess we can go ahead and look at okay, so it doesn't have too much of a description, but it's got a sunroof, 166,000 kilometers, the 99. It's got almost a 2000 cc engine, manual. It's on petrol, and it's, well, yeah, they kind of just, I don't know if that's, I'm assuming that means manual transmission as well. But yeah, overall clean car. It's only $7,000, which is actually pretty good too, but I would assume on top of the cost of actually importing it would be closer to 10 to 12, depending on how you get it shipped over and all that stuff. I'm not too familiar with labor and work into all of that and how long it'll take and how much it'll cost, but I would assume in the future sometime I will end up having to do that. Alright, so that'll about wrap up this video. That was just a little bit of a brief intro of my taste for JDMs, or the ones that I like to see and everything. This website will probably be on a lot on my channel. I love this website. It's fun to look at, and I think it would make pretty good content as well. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think of today's choices, or some of your favorite cars that I mentioned, or if there's a car that you would like me to look at as well. Always up for going down on the video as well, or in upcoming videos. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.